equipment. On say now say videos be air around. Man for who say ECG cables. Yako dampen wo eye insawem aduagiri eye anodompre. Mameka bibi nkyeremo. Anodompre sa nyoma na muhu no eye ne constituency nya eye one dia. Tie. Sa ECG equipment cables poles. Now before me dem be ko ECG story no me pese me bie mo adwunim na mo hu bibi first. Now muntie Kennedy Japan time okọ PZ ko kasa muntie ne ye pa. Oka ECG nsem ye wi abebuta question na afi ma kire mo ECG no omo bom kro no. The reason why MPP for one person beka ECG no ho asem. The reason why Afenyomakin has stayed away from the ECG matter. Anything Afenyomakin jina parliament can say ye nyina yenya ba ko ne solve ECG problem. No. Omo wi amo no omo wi Ghana no eye MPP for. Na mo me enko back kakra. Na yentie Kennedy Japan okọ PZ no oka bibi fa ECG ensam ho pulse ho me wi amebie wani wade bi ho.
Suppose na mo pay any cables wires amode begusu a very simple. Ye ni abemu enso metimi ama Ministry of Energy as supply mo sa cables in street light. Mekwa kohwe mi warehouse ni ma hwe se post no mi obi gu a as for street light in here my friend me setting some your street light e de me ko ni ma kohwe warehouse so even ago se me hwe nese Ministry of Energy ebe cha mi anka sama to post no e de abram enti se sikana me ba no se ni amo akire magneti e wa brantie wo minsom gaji ye diskane be ye adwuma menyo eto e hye me bottom se si a temptation e be ba no.
Now Kennedy call PZ no o kan sembi I say, suppose any cables na mo pa. Any the easy, any din kra easy job. In fact, now buy ni power. Then so obetumi afa ways be my Minister of Energy no at the poles any cables ni bia bromo. Nempo se minister ni kra ka se onya ono ankasa our warehouse our poles any cables gum. In fact, I say wa check it. Or you very sure say street light there obebreguo. Kennedy Japan, remember, ne lawyer ne Afenyomakin. Afenyomakin, on a board chair of ECG. Now, Kennedy Japan, in the past, your man a contract to supply electricity lights. Street lights. Ever since there, we are yet to see the full complement of Nyoma supply. Ever since there, Kennedy Japan Jisika on a company ni Jisika. Ever seen there, the supplying of those street lights no ever seen there ye. Now an MP who is not the Minister of Energy comes to tell you say our warehouse ECG posts gum, our warehouse street lights gum, and that he will be going to bring those poles and street lights. Mumusa Kennedy Japan say your man yere any or no contract say on supply street lights no or to me supplier na dabi yenya street lights now on supply no ene ho na. In fact the poles now say a good warehouse any street lights in a good warehouse no ye busan say okoto ya for den ehin na onya no our ECG contract bi ana. Yes, our millions of ECG contractor may they be chill very soon. You see, these people, they have played on your conscience and done everything to indirectly taken from you without you people knowing. Also, and the onwanga general catcher must say, poles, street lights, any sign of manyamano, or will be. Now the question is, yenim ni krom, asem dumpim, light could be no. That means the street lights ne guano, poles ne guano. Ya be second Japan chere baby okoto ni nyina free ye. Ya pesa ochire baby a onya sa light ni nyina. Now sa video na mo hu na mama ko hu eye cables any poles e won nsawe mu no eye anodompre na me be kire the connection anodompre what with this stolen eye containers any the role I will play in these stolen containers any ECG materials on sa video way it's making it's on circulation all social media. Watch this video very well. Sa nyoma ma copy no anodompre constituency na wo.
No na dwe ba ya hu ni ye ntina anopɛ de ɛsɛ itini ba ne ba ma mo hwɛ ni ye because
Omogana
mbaka just o papa mbobra o anso na papa do say an ekoso eh enti ha area mo nipa kwante ya nipa ante enti o ma da sa na ma we nyina koso o ma hu na o report na nkofo anteke ahye ah
so the company no run.
ana pay an aba site no so ene go te dwa no Vile kuguana
ana Africa fa Expo. 2024. It's a fresh crowd.
Fresh crowd.
And yes, sir, estatively with Badia. People will pass out. But if you say you'll be company.
Oh, yeah.
You also to me found some funny, a machine never found. And I will be good.
So another pre constituency post we are not on predia. Now me be show how we are ECG cables, street lights, posts. Remember, Peter Mbe ube kachire say abayin MPP abayin Emma Kennedy Japan a street light contract 100 million or supply one supply he kept it. Amewuna Bekaje said they gave Kennedy Japan, ECG ma Kennedy Japan, 100 million contracts, street lights. Intende Kennedy Bejina PZ, no catch them say, our street lights be breguo, our poles be breguo. They know what they are telling you. Because ECG street light belongs to the government of Ghana. Eti Kennedy Japan, contractor the man, no, was he able to supply all the poles and street lights? No. And internet oye bold okojina PZ me was street lights go. In fact, my friend me warehouse egum meti se bia bremo because ECG, you know, they were running it as friends. Now I make sure the link at the Kudientia. You see these people, the MPP are quiet on the ECG matter. And internet afenyo marking Kasongo 99 until say waka ECG assembly hu biem una de crawl. He is guilty. Investigations they koso. They know some of them. ECG are the way. the time of movie investigation, so the NPP will not have a front in parliament. The NPP in parliament, they will not have a front. That is the reason why the NPP minority in parliament, they have moved away from the ECG issue. Argentina NPP and your press conference kakraka about the ECG. Say NDC is accusing them of something. Why do you think they have stayed away from the ECG matter? Argentina NPP fonka ECG no. Argentina, they have stayed away from the conversation. It is because they know that their main men are the ones who committed the crime. Now, let's go into the books. You see this. And the strategy they put together, and interest was study another prayer on can ECG no one sem on can one sem cry. But another prayer, do you know say he was on the board of ECG? Do you know? The minority chief whip Habib, do you know he was also on the board of ECG? The minority leader, Afenyo Makin, these people. Come out. Do you know these three people who are leading the MPP today in Ghana? The minority. All these three people were on the board of ECG. Yeah. Crime now moving in our ECG. From the board now, I'm taking that decision now, mu cables. More lights, more bibiano. These three people who are leading the MPP today in parliament, all these three people were on the board of ECG. Time issue when you know another was on the board, Afenyo Makin was on the board, and Habib Idrisu, the minority chief whip, he was also on the board. It is a minority in parliament. If they have refused to speak on this ECG matter, then it means they are front. They know the three of them, they can all end up in jail. Now let's go back and show how they did the plan and why they are quiet. These are dangerous people. You never listen to MPP or anybody speaking for MPP because you see, partner is a disease. Now let's go back. You're starting free. You see, in 2022, Chenye, Napo, in 2022, Napo was the energy minister. Me chira be a plan free. Mamim biem. In 2022, Napo was the energy minister. The deputy energy minister na Ejapa Mesa. And the second deputy near friend Williams Owusu Edu. Now, when you go to ECG board, Tamana Napo energy minister now, it was Kelly Gajepo. The MD of ECG was Dubik Mahama. And then Anodompre was a board member of ECG in 2022. Did you know? Yeah. Anodompre today is the minority leader, deputy minority leader in parliament for the NPP. He is deputy to Afenyo Makin. So in 2022, I want to say another prayer ECG no press conference. The front of the NPP, they have moved away from that conversation is because they were the ones who orchestrated the crime. In 2022, no, now another prayer was sitting on the board of ECG. All the decisions that were being taken, another prayer was part of it. And you do not think, say, NPP, Afenyo Makin quickly coming out to tell you, say, oh, you know, Ghanaians, let us all solve the ECG problem as a nationalistic thing. Obwa, they are the ones who did the damage. They are the ones who connived and teamed up our ECG boss and ECG to destroy a ECG. Intusha, Napo, Energy Minister, 2022. Ejapa Mesa, Deputy Energy Minister, and Mr. Edu, Second Deputy. Now, but ECG boss na Kelly Gajepo, na Dubik Mahama as the MD of ECG, and Anodompre. Now, here. Now, when you come to 2023, something happened. In 2023, changes were made. Remember, this is the same group. And the Omokacho said, Dumusaba, Monso Kaniano, Mamen Chamo. Savi de Nabuko Uno, in Sawadu Ejino. Sanyo Menina Anodompredia. he stole it from ECG. Because he was on the board of ECG. Yeah. 2023. In the year 2023, Nanapo and a energy minister. And na omu change a Japamesa. And omude obi a friend Herbert Krapper ebe share as deputy. Remember, 2022, a Japamesa was the deputy to Napo. Omuba 2023 no, and omu change a Japamesa and omude Krapper ebe share. And they maintained the second deputy minister, Edu, as energy ministry. In Napo State, they changed Ejapamesa and the Krapper, Herbert Krapper Besheho, and omu maintaining second deputy energy minister. Now, over ECG in 2023, did anything happen? In 2023, Kaligajapo was still there. Herbert Dubik Mahama was still there as the MD. Anodompre in 2023 was still a member of the ECG board. Or a criminal guy. And engineers only say ECG as some wakebi. That is why they have moved. That is why they don't want that conversation to go on. That is why today you don't see them having press conferences to be demanding ECG containers na irano because posts ni cables na irano a women fire. And you see, it's so interesting, say, it is the leadership of the minority today. They were the people who were sitting on the board of ECG. Now, when Ejapa was taken out, Ayade Herbert Krapper, something also happened. In 2024, Herbert Krapper, he was acting as the board chair March 2024. Herbert Krapper na obey deputy to Napono. He became the acting board chair of ECG. Inti the same time now oya deputy to Napono. He became the acting board chair of ECG. Efrisena Keligajapo in March 2024 had resigned. They brought Herbert Krapper from the ministry to be the acting board chair of ECG board. In 2024 March, na Anodompre was still on the board of ECG. Now Dubik Mahama was still at post because March 2024, na Dubik Mahama resigning yet. Na why na resigning? Keligajepo. Into Omo Movie Krapper, who was the deputy energy minister, they made him the acting board chair of ECG. Into Sausha changes now, Bano Krapper or top, Krapper or down. He was acting as board chair and also the deputy minister in 2024 March. Team. Inti Krapper be board chair acting when Keligajepo resigned as the board chair of ECG. Inti still Anodompre is constant from 2022, 2023, 2024. Anodompre was on the board of ECG. Inti all the decisions that were being taken, Anodompre was sitting in there. Napo was in there. Dubik Mahama was in there. Now Krapper abe some substitution be which is not permanent. Now Ekufuado would need a board chair for ECG because Keligajepo has resigned. Krapper is a deputy energy minister. He's acting as the board chair of ECG. Into MPP4 had to make some changes because they needed their cartels still to control ECG. So what did they do? This was in March 2024. So that time na Napo MBF running mate to Edian Abozege. Into Napo was still the substantive energy minister. Don't get it wrong. March na Napo da who is substantive energy minister. Now this is what happened. Make sure be a problem ni free. And into the MPP, they are not speaking about the ECG issue, no, because on front are criminals. They will all go to jail. Investigations are still ongoing. That is why they are mute. Now, I'm sure idea. Now, in November, you see, in November 2024, Satana Napo Eko Okakoye running mate ama dieng, ama eye dieng, ama eye MPP, ama Baumia. Napo left as the energy minister. Now, what they did was that they brought Krapper back to become the substantive energy minister. And the second deputy minister, the deputy. Now, when it comes to the ECG boss, they moved Afenyomaken to become the ECG board chair. And then this man called Kwabena Ajimanbedu, ECG MD, because November, not Dubik Mahama so resigning. Kaligajapo echo March. Dubik Mahama so echo close to elections, September thereabout. They needed a new MD for ECG. Into Omdi Afenyomakin Ebe share as the board chair of ECG. They brought another person to replace Dubik Mahama. And what happens? They brought the deputy chief whip. Time na omo parliament, omo power no. Na acquire friend Habib Idrisu. Not or your majority chief whip. Not or your third to Afenyomakin. They brought that guy to be on the board of ECG. Into technically, Anodom Prayer has been on ECG boards for about 3 years. Now, you're changing Keligajepo resigning. Krapa Ako as a substantive minister because Napoko running mate. And you're the Afenyomakin can abeshaw. Now you ask, say, why in a shame fino? Dubik Mahama Soko into the wine about Kwabena. Now, Kwamena. Now, share baby a trick in all. The reason why you are not seeing Anodom Prayer here and then say, Afenyomakin was the board chair of the road fund. Now, what they did was that they moved Anodom Prayer from the ECG board to go and take over at the road fund, and they brought Afenyomakin from the road fund to be the board chair of ECG. Now, you see the trick. So, Anodom Prayer for about 3 years has been on the board of ECG. Now, they still needed their campaign in the front, one of them to come and handle ECG board. They had to take Anodom Prayer to substitute Afenyomakin from the road fund board for Afenyomakin to come here as a substantive board chair of ECG. Into Anodom Prayer left around November 20. He left before the elections to go ahead the road fund. Into anything I won't say Habib Abeshaw. Into so follow what they did. It was a simple chess they were playing with you. The NPP as we speak today. Now let me show you this. Obi Obeka say there are some people who have doubt about these people. Now you see, Anodom Prayer joins ECG board July 30th, 2021. And I almost swear Anodom Prayer in as a board member of ECG. Ntebia, Ojin Sasama ye kano, ye can't share Anodom Prayer kon. No. Sa post na muna adwejire no. Anodom Prayer dia. Or a lot of them, Kennedy Muobi, Afenyomakin Muobi, they have stolen everything from the container. Inti, sir, uko back to look at what actually happened now. Sir Habib and Afenyomakin, they all came into the ECG or joined the ECG board in July 2024. Sanko for me and say we are only the MPP or parliament, they are the ones who destroyed ECG. These three criminals. It's ECG problem now. Yeka na nkophobia dina MPP form person mekasa oma dino. It is Habib who is the minority chief whip, Afenyomakin who is also the minority whip, and then Anodom Prayer who is also the minority chief whip. Only Afenyomakin who is now the minority leader. These three people are the ones that almost the ECG cause shares a problem. That is why ECG container theft in the buy, they were saying, oh, wait there, a national issue. We should all come together and solve it. The Ben out is Anodom Prayer ECG as some nubi. Have you heard him speak on it? Have you ever heard this Habib guy speak on the ECG container theft? Afenyomakin Ebeka Chiram say, oh, guys, let us all come together as a people. No. Videos now muhuno. In some Kennedy kano. These people are the people who containers in our free ports. Omo setting up a company. Yeah. This is when Habib Idrisu was basically Mechamu evidence, no. But they are not done pray the achiremo. Okay. Habib was sworn in. Habib Dienini by Napo. Habib and Afenyomakin were sworn in by Napo, the energy minister, to go sit on the ECG board in July 2024. So the MPP you are seeing right now, front, leadership, they are criminals. They are the corporates. ECG container theft now, that is why the NPP leadership, they have refused to speak on it. Investigations, they know that some of them will go to jail. And they don't even want to do press conference. Their communicators are not speaking on it. Social media, no, they don't want to speak on these things because the leadership must say NDC person will break MPP. I mean, John Mahama can be jailing for me and so we be good party no. Afenyo Markin is still begging behind the scenes. Afenyo Markin is begging. Habib, Arnaud Dompré, Afenyo Markin. These three criminals, these guys. Now, let me show you also on ECG website. They published it. Now, when you read ECG Ankasa website, what they wrote there, my one kind. So if we saw all about Mr. Afenyo Markin succeeded Mr. Krapa, who has been appointed as Minister of State at the Ministry of Energy. Mr. Krapa's elevation to his ministerial role was approved by Parliament after his nomination by President Akufo-Addo. Previously, Mr. Krapa served as the Deputy Minister for Energy. Before his new appointment, Mr. Afenyo Markin chaired the Ghana Road Fund. With his transition to the ECG board, Majority Chief Whip Arnaud Dompré will assume the role of board chairman of the Ghana Road Fund. Consequently, Mr. Dompré will step down from his position on the ECG board, a role that will now be taken over by Deputy Majority Whip in Parliament, Habib Idrisu. This is on the website of ECG. I did not publish this. When you take your time and analyze the air now, the reason why the NPP as a political party are not speaking, the leadership of the NPP are not speaking on the ECG theft na air no sa post na mbrante ni ko hu ye no any cables na enane no Afenyo Markin Arnaud Dompré Habib Idrisu. They are the ones, these three people, these are the three criminals who want you to believe, say, oh, you know something, ECG, these are the people who did the crime. The MPP, they are despicable. Makacha must say, when now would send when stadium, my JJ Rollins catch them Ghana for Sanko for you, only you for anytime you busa. Oh my no social media did my time, did my hammer, time did the end this year. Me say in Tianya day, young giant ko the MPP chiana. Young ko to my MPP, then a yenye. They are substituting the leadership at ECG board. Inti, so study ECG problem no 2022 and I don't premo start here. Odidi one Afenyo, remember Afenyo Markin or a Kennedy Japan lawyer. Kennedy lawyer ni Afenyo Markin. Kennedy nya 100 million contract from ECG. Remember, Arnaud Dompré, those times a majority chief whip, no, he was on the board. So he influenced Kennedy Japan in his contract. No? Remember, Kennedy Japan lawyer, Afenyo Markin or a minority leader became the board chair. Do you know the contract Kennedy got at ECG when Afenyo Markin became the board chair? I will show you. The latter part of Afenyo Markin and MPP government. Do you know the contractor Afenyo Markin the market in Japan or ECG? Kennedy Japan no nyo biao. Mami ka bibin chiramo. You people have no idea, eh? Kennedy Japan. Time anaku for free office no. Na Kofua bind the Kennedy Japan ka 23 million Ghana. 23 million Ghana. John Mahama the market Kennedy Japan be Kennedy Japan. Mushen be bia mumbusa no. And it's not me who say or a despicable human being. Kennedy Japan. Kofua time mumbusa no. Contract also nya in the first contract 23 million Ghana. That is 20 bunkam year no. Time Kofua so mo check Kennedy Japan sasika no. But it was a contractor Kofua mama Kennedy yeah. Now when power changed at Tamils Bayano, it was John Mahama as the vice president. And a Kennedy Japan then documents Betchero must say he has actually done some work for Kofua. And that legitimately, why Jumano? That was the time na Kennedy Japan about politics. Every single day, Kennedy Japan was going to the vice president office showing his documents. Say, if Mahama Dems don't help pay legitimate job he has done, Kennedy Japan was going to go to jail because not the bank's car. You people have no idea. That guy is a despicable thief. Or you need to be on kaya die. Eti Kennedy upon betina TV so say yenshi Mahama yenku Mahama or yakwasi na Kennedy no me tan I so nim nyansa Kofuo na odi Kennedy back politics na ombe wie sika no they did not pay Kennedy. John Mahama the leader here catch and say we have gone through your contract, it looks like legitimately you were given this legit contract, you supply the things and that you have to be paid. John Mahama and then making sure the right thing is done, no illegality. Kofuo himself did not pay Kennedy. But John Mahama saw to it, say, a Ghanaian has supplied electricity equipment to Ghana government. And that he deserves to be paid because a foreigner. So John Mahama and the lady Kennedy and making sure, say, he has gone through the process. Atamos looked at it. They made sure, say, everything is legitimate. Because I went to TV say, Mahama Guno. Mumbusano. No Mumbusano. Do you know the things we know? There are so many things we don't tell you people. In this I'm say, don't ever think about the MPP. Oma Juni Nyejuma. Oma Wudi for MPP Oma Jimmy. They don't care about anybody. It is what they will get. It is what they will get today. There are people who kill and laugh about it. They have nothing like sympathy or empathy. They don't have it, that thing. I don't hate Obioye MPP, but I keep telling people, say, that party, the leadership, Sanko Fowe are not people to be trusted. But sometimes, because we try to let Ghanaians understand from the education we give them. And a candidate in Ghana said, yeah, he's a changed man. Me say, Mumbusa Kennedy Japan same way. Okasa me boa, I'll quit this job. Mumbusa na same way. So okasa me boa, I'll quit this job. Kennedy Japan ultimate jina baby ankasa me boa. John Mahama made Kennedy Japan who he is today. Ofra brochero nkuteske bia. He didn't have a dime. John Mahama made Kennedy who he is today. He was just oyo hieni ofra brochero ba no niska. Kofuo mamode ba oba kura politics oko asen ho omoko chiche bu command seat no. Kennedy did not have a dime. Onisika ye de business Kennedy Japan. John Mahama mo and making sure that contract na onya Kofuo and Kofuo no contract was secure. They paid him his due because he had done the contract. And no na Kennedy best starting yeska. Also nya ska way. Also abroad no ye 3 jobs. A day don't make it $2,000. Now just this guy is a liar. He had nothing. Or you're just ungrateful. I can't wait to meet TV say Yanko John Mahama. John Mahama gave you crumbs to eat. John Mahama on the top pan auto form and I don't get my fire sabwa. John Mahama did that for you. There's so many things you Ghanaians don't see. You don't know. Say a banner bekano credit chema. Ayana Montia say it is not personal. We want Ghanaians to understand, say, the NPP as a political party are not supposed to come close to power again. Now, Yanko Yenim, but don't send me anything. Now you have an idea of ECG. What they have done. And the ECG conversation, you do mukania. Monga say MPP form yensa we mumbuso mo say intina mo ECG board so and in some way remember Napo na head obu nyina o. Napo was the energy minister. He basically did that substitutions near they knew what they were doing. And then Napo na baka jam say $2 million worth of condensate ayira. Condensate no or say evaporate yako Napo $2 million worth of condensate ayira yeti krom ha kwasi ampa na hwene se fon no ene nam Ghana kan kwasi asem aden ayama ne be president adentia so your this year now your this year mu fie udi hini wo busu fie o so your this year wo krom onya this year o Ghana eba amemu a eba governance a MPP mumuni what is governance ahenie na mo ya ade yen so hini we yen kokoma hini we yen ko defend hini we eno na yemodwuma na eba oman chechire a you people have no idea about governance ahini chechire and I'll give it to you yen ko so hini we Yanko you hini aye. Yanko dada or hini way. Yanko you be any I'll give it to you. You are good at chieftaincy nonsense. But when it comes to governance, you people have no idea about governance. And then there be a person motia siena na mu jimi mo ho. Mum MPP for ni bi mu jimi mo ho. Se mo bese ahini ne to so aba mo mayehu ne amfa constitution no ne ento ahemfo so aba so Ghana. If that is what you people want to do, bring it up. But when it comes to the holistic development and building of this nation, the NPP has no knowledge about building a nation. These are tribal bigots enshrined in their foolishness who think, say, we as Ghanaians, we need to consider baby obu free and sana ye bumai. And yes, sana di bumai. We are not going to allow that again. And that does not mean obi mu ana ombu obusia ana ombu hene. Ohene bia ni Ghana eto so aba. So I don't give a heck about Ohene. What I give a heck about is the constitution and the person we as Ghanaians democratically have voted for to lead us to govern this nation. That is what I care about. I don't give a shit about Ohene bia or Ghana. Because Ohene na wudi no enye ye nyina ye to aba ma e webusuafo de siwu. So whatever you get unyama webusuafo unyama Ghana. It is a Ghana mine kura ma wadwuma se di na so your Ohene na mpese obedi ajai. Because you are not there to work for Ghana. At the end of the day, Ghana does not pay you. In this oil, you know Ghana. Now you're here on Mankam Gurugu. Or you're here with Bukroma on a Ukrom. Or you're here with Infantimemu, Asantimemu. Now on my name, you have the right to stop. Because you can sit home for people who want to work. Work. That is how it works. Into Obianko Chanabama Mekase Yesrao. Or anyway, into also when you're it is your right. Because we're bushing for musi hine no omo nsi hine se kodi asem e wa bontene di ufi asem. And if you think say ufi asem no na betumi abo a chekere wo man, sit there and deal with it. Obianse obia enya force in Ghana. And these people, everybody should get this in their head. Ghana problems bebre ebi mo ha yaka ho asem eko aba, yaka ho asem eko aba, nothing has changed. Ghana problems bebre reoccurring problems. Yaka